Today is a very exciting day to be a Star Wars fan, as Vanity Fair and of course Entertainment Weekly gave us new details about the movie, as well as a first look at many of the new characters like Kylo Ren, Rey, Luke Skywalker, Hux, and a whole lot more, all thanks to Vanity Fair. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, today we got a lot of new images related to The Rise of Skywalker, and I really wanted to go into a full breakdown of all the images that we got today, ranging all the way from Kylo Ren to Rey to some of the brand new characters in this story, as well as some new details related to Episode 9. So let's get right to it. So first things first, we went over the covers already, but I actually just want to take a quick look at them once again. What's really great about this photograph is that we get a nice new look at Kylo Ren's stance on the desert world of Pasaana. And by the way, that is the name of the new desert world, in case you guys did not know. It's not Tatooine, Jeddah, or even Jakku. It's a place called Pasaana. So moving on to the next one, we here have yet another cover of Daisy Ridley as Rey holding the iconic, alright, I guess you could say the staff here in The Rise of Skywalker. Now, there's a reason as to why she's bringing this along throughout all three movies that we will finally find out in the actual Episode 9 film. Moving on to the next piece, alright, this is one of my favorite shots of the world of Pasaana, where we do have J.J. Abrams next to the camera there, all the way to the left. You can only imagine how hot it was over there, over in Wadi Rum, Jordan. You know, I would imagine it was probably maybe near 100 degrees, maybe even more than that. You can just see that the crew looks exhausted almost, and Daisy Ridley as Rey, this looks like this would be the same exact shot that we saw in the teaser trailer where Luke Skywalker's talking to her, and she's using her lightsaber against that TIE silencer or that TIE interceptor. So it seems like that this shot, this photograph, is most definitely attached to what we already saw in the existing teaser trailer that we saw at Star Wars Celebration. So moving on to the next piece that I do want to go over is John Williams actually providing pieces of the score for, of course, The Rise of Skywalker. And as you can see all the way over here, we have a nice new look at General Leia Organa. Let's zoom in on that right over here. Let's get a closer look. Alright, so this is the jungle world. As you can see in the background, we can see the tropical plants and the tropical trees and everything around those lines. Something about Leia's face, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like that they might have done something to Leia. We actually have heard that they will be cutting her out of some of the scenes from The Last Jedi and putting her into new scenes, where there's something about her face that just looks a little different. I don't want to say it's CGI, but there's something about her face that looks different than how it looked in The Last Jedi. Maybe it's just in my mind. But moving on here, alright, as we go on to the next image, alright, this one actually is going to involve a very specific image that has to do with yet another sequence in the movie that involves new creatures and new species that are related to the world of Pasaana. Now, what's great about Pasaana is that it's described to be a mixture of Tatooine, Jakku, and Jeddah. At that point, in my mind, J.J. Abrams might as well have just brought us back to Tatooine from the very start and the very beginning of the movie. But again, guys, in case you guys did not know, there are two desert worlds appearing in Episode 9. So, like I have said, all the leaks that we have been going over suggest that Tatooine is returning in some way, shape, or form at the end of this movie, or at the very end of the second act of Episode 9. So moving on to the next image, one of my favorites, and one of my favorite characters of all time. We have Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian. Now take note that he has the same exact outfit that he did from Solo: A Star Wars Story. You could see that they are really trying to make that version of the character very much recognizable and very familiar with the fan base. Also take note that we have the droid Dio right here resting over Poe's shoulder, and BB-8 there as well with Chewbacca. Now, like I said, guys, this tells us that, yes, we are going to have a lot of scenes between Lando, Poe, Finn, Chewbacca, Rey, you name it, and there are going to be a lot of space battles in this movie involving Lando Calrissian, and I cannot wait to see him in action. Guys, I just want to point out another thing here, is that Billy D. Williams looks great. I mean, he exercised, he did a lot of fitness training, he really got in great shape for this role, and you can just see that he looks a lot better, and he is Lando Calrissian once again. It looks very authentic. Moving on here, yet another shot of the world of Pasaana. Again, this looks like the speeder chase sequence that we have been going over a couple of months now. The speeder chase sequence is said to involve Rey on a speeder, and she's actually teaming up with Chewbacca, BB-8, etc., as you can see right here. In the background, these may very well be the speeders that are going to be chasing Rey. You can see one little device over here, one little speeder, if you will, that's actually in the form of a set, and you can see the dolly over here where one of the crew members are actually shooting toward that location. So something is going on here. You can see the engine of the speeder right here. By the way, guys, the wheels here, this is just for the crew to move the speeder off screen. So moving on to the next piece, I want to go over this fantastic shot of Poe, or should I say of Finn and Jannah. So Finn and Jannah are actually riding on these new creatures called Orbaks. Now, that's actually spelled O-R-B-A-K-S. So the Orbaks are actually dedicated to this new world that's going to be introduced in the very beginning of episode 9. It's actually described to be a very grassy world that was shot over in the Scottish Highlands. So moving on here, alright, we have Anthony Daniels as C-3PO once again. Not much to really talk about here, but one thing I will say is that they are putting the suit back together again with BB-8 by his side. You know, one thing I want to bring up is, where in the world is R2-D2? What happened to him? What's going on here? So moving on, you know, this is yet another shot of the world of Pasaana. I gotta get that name stuck in my head. I keep thinking that this is the world of, like, let's say, for example, Jeddah. I almost said that. But looking at Rey here, alright, all the way to the left, we can see that she's got her staff once again. Chewbacca's armed with his blaster rifle. She also has Finn over here. So far, I don't see Poe. He must be somewhere else in this particular scene. This looks to be the same exact speeder that we just went over before. And moving on to the next image. A lot of people are thinking that this is General Hux's father. This is Richard E. Grant's new character called General Pryde. I believe it's spelled P-R-Y-D-E. It is not General Hux's father. General Hux's father, in case you guys are not informed on the canon material, is actually called Brendel Hux, and he died, so he's no longer alive. So, with that being said, alright, this is actually said to be on board of Kylo Ren's new destroyer. So keep in mind that this is General Hux and General Pryde on board of Kylo Ren's destroyer. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing plenty of that ship in this movie. And, alright, this is one of the new characters portrayed by, of course, Kerry Russell. Now, this character is actually called Zori Bliss. So spelled Z-O-R-I, Bliss, like B-L-I-S-S. And she is in the Thieves' Quarter on a snow-dusted world called Kijimi. Now, this world is actually spelled K-I-J-I-M-I. And we got a little glimpse of this, I believe, in the teaser trailer, if I'm not mistaken, where the ship is entering the atmosphere. She seems to be around the lines of a bounty hunter because they do call her a scoundrel. And you can see that she's got some weapons on hand. From what it seems, she's got a blaster here. She's got a knife here from what it looks. And a lot of people are calling her a Power Ranger. A discount Power Ranger. Moving on, alright, we went over this already. The flash fight between both Kylo and Rey. Or maybe not even the flash fight. It could very well be the battle between the flash fight, where they're actually on board of the Death Star 2 wreckage. Like I said, I went over this before a couple of hours ago. You can see on the bottom right that you can see some wreckage of, you know, the Death Star from what it seems, from the crashing waves. And finally, alright, we got the character of Luke Skywalker next to R2-D2. A lot of people aren't quite sure exactly where he is at this point in time. And as we progress, we got the Knights of Ren themselves. So the Knights of Ren, guys, you know, we went over this as well not too long ago. They all have individual weapons except for two knights, where he holds a blaster and this guy in the back over there also holds a blaster. So anyways, yeah, guys, that was the full breakdown of Vanity Fair's, you know, photo shoot of the Rise of Skywalker. Everything is looking brilliant. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. And I will catch you guys next time.